Hi artists! Last week we worked together to draw a cardinal. Now if you haven't colored your cardinal yet, I want you to pause the video and go ahead and color. Remember, I made mine red, so it's a male cardinal. If you want to make a female, the body should be brown instead of red, but the beak should still be red. So if you haven't drawn this yet and colored it, go ahead and pause and catch up. If you have, you're going to need today your cardinal, of course. You're also going to need another piece of paper. I'm using blue construction paper. If you have construction paper or other colored paper, that's best. Otherwise, you'll want to end up coloring the paper, and that might take a while. And you will need scissors, and you will need a glue stick. So, we're going to cut out our cardinal. But now this is important. We're not going to throw away all the paper. We're actually going to use the paper around the cardinal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut carefully around my cardinal so that I'm not wasting paper. I'll go ahead and, well, I'm paused. So you pause the video, cut yours, and catch up. Okay, I'm back with my cardinal who is cut out and the paper that I cut out of. So I'm going to be putting my cardinal on this blue paper, but the thing is I want him to be sitting on a branch. That's where the scrap paper comes in. So see how my scrap paper, if I turn it this way, I've got this long sheet of paper. I'm going to use this to draw and design a branch. Now as I'm drawing and designing my branch, I can really make it any way I want. It can be straight, it can be squiggly, it can go up or down or across. You get to be creative as long as it fits within your paper. So I'm going to put my bird here so I get a good size reference, all right. And I think I'm actually going to use the edge. I think that would be really fun. You don't have to, but I think it would be fun and creative, or clever rather, if I drew right along here, right along the bottom of this. Ooh, and then, you know, it's a branch, so it's going to have some twigs that go out. Some twigs that come around, maybe some like that. Okay, so that's a pretty cool branch. Let's see if it's a good size. Put our cardinal right on top. Oh, perfect size. I love it. Okay, so now I'm going to cut this branch out. Now, it's not colored. This is something that you can choose. If you want, especially because I use the same type of paper that I used my cardinal, I think I'm going to paint mine brown. But some branches, some trees, like birch trees, have white branches. So it might be a good idea for you just to add a couple of lines, a couple of decorative spots or spirals so that we can really see it's some wood. If you want to just leave it like that, that could be pretty too. Curious now how that would look. Ooh, maybe I do want to leave it white. I'll cut it out white and we'll see. Now remember, since you are using your colored paper probably horizontally like I did so that you have lots of room, it's probably going to be a little bit bigger than the construction paper you'll be gluing it onto. That's okay. It just means that you're going to need to trim your branch somewhere. It's one of the fun things about doing a project like this is you get to decide how it looks and what best way to place and lay things down. All right, my branch is cut out. Trim out that tiny spot. Okay. And let's see how it looks on here. So I've got my blue paper, right? My bird that I'm going to set aside. And my branch. Oh, this looks nice. And if I turn my branch sideways, it actually fits really well, but now I don't think my bird fits as well. I'm going to scoot it a bit, hold it right there, and what do I think? Oh, I think that looks nice. Now remember, the tail is going to go behind the branch, and the little feetsies are going to go on top eventually. There we go. Oh, this looks so cute. So cute. Okay, and I don't think I'm going to paint mine after all. I like how it looks white. If you would prefer to paint it, please do. But I am going to glue this down. And then we're almost done. The only step we'll have left after this will be our snow. Because this is a winter cardinal, so we need to include snow. Okay, so I have a weird thing in my branch that I'm going to cut so that it looks a little better. Okay, now this part's important because you're layering the cardinal like I just showed you. Instead of gluing the branch down first, I'm actually going to glue the cardinal down first. I know that I want my cardinal to be sitting on my branch like, oh, this thing is still being weird. See, it's good to revise your art as you go. I know I want my cardinal sitting on the branch like, like that. And now my cardinal's not quite sitting where I want. So you can do this trick as well. I'm actually going to cut a line up next to the foot to make my foot kind of move back and forth. Now, if I'm planning it right, I can slide the foot in front, and that gives me the cardinal the way I want it. Yeah, that looks better. So now I need to glue this down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the biggest part of the cardinal, which is the tail, where it connects the biggest, and put a little glue right there. Got my glue stick. I'm going to glue right there. And the nice thing about a glue stick is it dries clear. My glue stick goes on purple but dries clear. And so I can tell that I've got glue in the right spot. I can press it down, squeeze it tight, and now I have a cardinal glued to my branch. Looking real pretty. And then I can glue my branch down to my page. So now the whole thing is going to get glued down. So it's best to glue on the back of the big piece. I'm going to go ahead and put my glue there. I'll show you, since it's purple, you'll be able to see where I applied my glue. I'm getting it on the table, so I'm sure you will too. Okay, see how I have glue all over, including in these little places? Then I'm going to get my paper and glue it down the way I want. It is going to hang off the edge a little bit, and that's all right. Press it, press it, press it, press it, press it. Since I'm using glue stick, it's drying really fast, so I need to re-glue in some places. But again, glue stick dries clear, so that's okay. That's okay if I need to re-glue. Almost done. That looks nice. Again, you can see some glue, and that's okay because it's going to dry clear. It's already drying in some places. One downside is that even though it dries clear, it does kind of discolor the paper, but since we're adding snow, I'm okay with that. Okay, now you have a couple of options for snow. After I tell you your options, you'll want to pause the video and go get that supply unless you already have it ready. But you can use a white colored pencil. I know this is yellow, go with me. A white colored pencil, a white crayon. You can use white paint, or this is a little trick that I love to use. If you have somewhere in your house what we call correction fluid, it's white out in a bottle. Do you hear it swish? This also works really well as snow. This is what I'm going to use. However, I will draw some snowflakes in white colored pencil and white crayon so you can compare and see what you like best. Okay, I've got a handy white crayon right next to me. Okay. So I've got my cardinal. If I want a white snowflake, I can draw them in with actual details like that, or I can make little circles like that. I can put them all over. The reason I prefer white correction fluid or whiteout is because it shows up brighter and bolder. It's almost like using paint. In fact, if you have white paint, that's best. But I know not everybody does. So I'm going to shake it really well. I'm going to uncap it. And correction fluid comes out in a little bottle like nail polish. And then I'm just going to dab little drops everywhere I want. So I'm going to do that for a little bit. Dab, 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 dab. If it starts to get a little too runny, then you probably need to shake it up some more. Dab, 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 dab. You can have some overlapping on top of your cardinal if you want. Because of course it will get snow on it as well. Ooh! The problem with me holding it so you can see is some of them are dripping. Yours won't drip. Dab, 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 dab. And a couple of last dabs. And I am done! Okay, now correction fluid takes about 5 minutes to dry all the way. So you shouldn't have to wait long to have a finished product. It should look beautiful. This should be something you're proud of, that you want to hang up. If you want to give it a frame or something like that, you can always make something fun like that. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to seeing your finished cardinals, and have a great winter.